I want to talk about man, his past and his future. This is creation. And this is the future. Earth. The redeemed earth. Where the curse is lifted that was put in Genesis. There are a few key features in this plan. When God promised a Redeemer in Genesis, we can see it approximately here. This is where the cross opened. And man was redeemed, and the price was paid in full. Atonement was made for all man's sins. After the fall of man, we had the Nephilites. On the earth. And they married or had children with a woman on earth, and the giants were born. And this was a world gone wrong. God wanted to destroy the world, but he found one man who was righteous, and it was Noah. Noah and 7 of his people survived the flood, wherein all the world was destroyed. Then man came together and built the Tower of Babel. From which Babylon comes. The city of Nineveh was built by a man called Nimrod. This was rebellion against God, and God had to start putting his plan of his covenant into being, and he chose a man called Abraham to make a covenant with. God told Abraham that he would take Israel into Egypt, and after 400 years he would take them out again. The reason for taking Israel into Egypt was to show God's glory, which I will explain in a later video. I will denote Egypt like this for 400 years. And after that they went to Sinai, the mountain where they got the law. They wandered 40 years in the desert. And then they came to the promised land. When they were in the promised land, they wanted a king. God wanted to be their leader, but they wanted a king. They rejected God, as God told Samuel, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting me. The kings led them into difficult times where Israel went into Assyria, into exile. They never returned. They went through to Europe, And those people were never seen again in Jerusalem. The tribe of Judah and Benjamin went into Babylon. That's the story of Nebuchadnezzar. And only 43,000 of them returned. They rebuilt the temple. And there was a 400 years silence. In which the prophets did not speak anymore because the Old Testament had to be compiled, ready for the Messiah. When Jesus came, he was crucified, and atonement was made for the sins of man. Jesus said to the Jews that they would pay the price because they said, "Let his blood be on us and on our children." In 70 AD, diaspora of the Jewish nation took place, and they went all over the world, only to return in 1948 to Jerusalem. This is just a little bit of history. If I can put more or less dates to it, this will be the year 0. That's 1948. And that's 70 AD. The kings were approximately 1000 BC. Sinai was approximately 1800 BC. 2000 BC for Abraham over here. And this would be 2400 BC. And that's 4000 BC. This is just a basic guideline of how what I want to talk about in the future.